What's up, my know-it-alls? Welcome to the very first Daredevil After Show. I really am excited, man. Joining me, of course, is my good buddy Gonzo. You know him from Nerd Fights, but we're gonna be doing these after shows from now on, and I'm excited about it. So we're gonna be talking the all things Daredevil. Jump in the comments. We obviously love to kind of hear what you guys have to say and sort of check out what is happening. This is obviously a premiere, but at the same time, we're very active in terms of wanting to be sure kind of what the conversation is going to be happening on a regular basis. Look forward to talking to you guys about all that. But we just got finished watching the new episode that dropped last night. What did you think, sir? First impressions before we do anything else. First impressions.
I like the direction that they're going. I mean, they're not again, there wasn't all this fighting and
Sure.
they're
No,
actually
right.
building character.
Agreed.
And
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
yeah, I know. Can you imagine like
It's like
writing and
I don't know what to do
building
with this.
character and taking your time with it?
Well, and it's funny because I thought that about, the last episode. I was like, "Oh, well," because I heard a lot of people saying, "Well, I mean, it's he needs to start being Daredevil a little bit, whatever." But I also found, like, that episode was actually quite compelling, and this one, is likewise, I'm finding equally compelling. I do think it felt a little bit like a filler, like a setup episode, not a filler. Filler isn't fair.
I
This
think it
is a
was a
setup.
setup episode.
Yeah.
There were a couple things in the episode that was I was like, "Chunky." And yeah.
No, lay it on me, lay it on, let's go. That's the point of all this. By the way, there's no ratings happening or anything like that. I will be doing
Okay,
my
let me tell you
review
something.
right.
Let
I'll
me
be
tell
doing
you something.
hang on one second, hang on one second. I'll be doing my review right after this. So everybody watch if you're watching, stick around afterwards. That's where I'll do like all the breaking down and the talking and stuff like that. But this is literally just like you with your buddies, you just saw the episode. We're just gonna talk about it. So there's no real format to this other than just having some fun talking about the show. Please forgive me. Go right ahead, Gons.
That counseling scene, bro.
Bro, aren't they getting I don't know, part of me is like,
No,
it's
no, no, no,
annoying.
no, no, no. That is pissing me off. Don't be like, "It's great."
No, no,
Dude,
I
there
didn't
was
say
so
it's great.
much gaslighting and lack of accountability. The girl cheated on him. And she's, "Oh, it was because of my daddy." And I'm like, "Bro, you cheated on him." And then he was freaking like, "Ugh, I'm so sorry for being a faithful husband." And I was so upset that Sandry was just there.
Wow, alright, I
And I did
mean,
not like it. I was like, and then like, do you feel safe around him?
oh, well,
She's the
yeah,
one,
yeah.
her back blown out by some dude while he's away.
Wow. Wow, okay, no, fair. So
I was
okay,
not I was not I was not for that counseling session at all. I
so
understand trying to get Fisk to be humanized, but don't turn him into some simp. Dude,
so
he got
did you
cheated on.
watch the first, did you actually watch Daredevil back in the
Yes,
day?
I did.
He
But
'cause he
still, at the
technically
end of the
he
day,
was very much a simp back then, but I hear what you're
yeah,
saying.
he was. But see, there was building characters and things like that, and he loved her very much,
Right.
and of course there was that in the first go around. How would you call that?
What
We'll just say the
yeah,
Netflix
yeah,
version.
Marvel Daredevil. It was back that's what they
Marvel's
used to call
Daredevil.
it. Yeah,
Right, and we'll
uh,
call it that. It was there, but it's like, what's over with that? No, I mean, he still loves her and he's gonna stick around, I understand, but he's like, "Oh my god, whatever you want me to do, babe," and she's like, "Yes,
I
I
get the
did it."
feeling I
So
get the feeling that he's seeing very much through the lens of his decision to try to be a mayor. So I feel like he thinks he's got to, like, become something normalized, and I'm like, "Bro, how do you go from being the primal animal you were to trying to now be civilized in a way that you are not accustomed to?" And I think a great example is the whole episode, he's continuously building this tension because
yeah.
first he's got his
Yes.
kids singing, and then he's gotta go to the other place, it's the same song.
Yeah, that was my note, the singing it.
He's like, oh, he's just and you can see him just building up and building up, and then we finally do get the answer. Spoilers, by the way, anybody not paying attention. We finally get the answer about why his knuckles for a guy who's not doing the stuff he used to
Good.
do, why are his knuckles red?
And I was completely wrong. I thought Adam was gone. I thought he was on the bottom of the
Yeah.
soup.
It was like, no, and that's why, like, that's I thought it's funny you say that. I thought, I wonder if he wants to redo this whole area because he's, like, buried bodies
Yeah,
here.
right, right,
And
that
he's
he
like, "Can we
wants to
just
mask
build on
everything.
top of all of."
Yeah, I was like, "Nah, nah," and but then at the end where we saw that, I don't know if you
Right.
wanna go,
Yeah,
chrono
full no, 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 hey, if you're watching
we're
this
just talking
thing,
about when I saw him at the end, I
yeah,
was like, "Okay." I was like, I see what's happening," and then I saw how it shows evidence of him punching the wall
yeah,
and being it all bloody and things like that, and so I was like, "Okay, this makes this" at least they revealed it instead of letting us guess the whole time.
right.
Um, and, oh, what's that kid's name?
I keep calling him by his actor's name, Gandolfini. That's the Gandolfini son. Yeah. I
Um,
loved him, bro.
dude, his little speech to cover his ass was just oh, can I yeah, to cover his rear.
You're all I know is I'm watching him and Fisk, and the more they interact, the more I sit here and go, "He's, like, becoming Fisk's kid." Like, the
Yeah,
son Fisk has never had. He's like, and he'll call it mentoring, but I'm like, "This feels very
bro.
paternal."
Okay, so that scene wouldn't have worked either if you didn't watch Fisk's face.
Yes.
Because what happens is while he's talking, you see this rage, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Wait a minute, this kid is something else."
It's
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah,
He's
oh,
like,
dude.
"I'm gonna beat the crap out of him right now,
Yeah.
but I
I was
can't.
No,
I
for real.
can't, and I want to, but damn, he's good."
Yeah, no, it was good. I enjoyed it. So the so Matt, let's go to Matt for a minute.
Yes.
Daredevil, if you will. So he is on the heels of last week, which obviously we haven't really talked much about last week's episode because I'm very busy and came into it this week. What and you text me in the middle of my review, which is great. What are some of your thoughts coming off of last week into this when it comes to Matt? Like, what are your thoughts in terms of like what he's because obviously, see, here's the thing. I felt like they bounced back really fast. And it seems like most of Matt's issues stem from the loss of Foggy and the decision not to be Daredevil anymore, which comes from that whole scenario.
Think that part happened so fast, I almost forgot who he's talking about when he was talking to the
Right?
part.
No, same.
'Cause
I,
I was
I,
like, "Say his name." I'm like, "Hector?"
that- I was right there with you. That's exactly what I thought. I'm sitting here
I was
going,
like,
Victor Ayala? All
"What the
right.
hell does he want to say Hector's name?"
Yeah. Well, so okay. So it's funny because I said in my review of last week's episode that I said, watch, he's gonna go to the place, he's gonna daredevil his way into finding, he's gonna track down Frank, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
What do you think? What did you think of seeing Frank finally for this week? Are you excited to see him?
Oh, I was excited. I was like, "Yes." And I
Yeah.
needed that rage
Oh,
for what going through yesterday and
yeah.
today. His intensity helped
I
with
agree.
with that, and
Yeah.
also, that throwing of again because I forgot,
Mm.
because they got rid of Foggy so fast, he's like, "You're looking for me for permission," and I'm like, "What the hell is he talking about, permission?" And I said, "What a curveball," and then he explains it, I'm like, "Okay," you know? And then
Mhm.
until they started talking about Foggy, I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, this makes even more sense now." But
Right?
again, Foggy was gone too fast for me to even
I know.
he wasn't even think
You would
he was
you wouldn't even there a minute. You wouldn't even
or
there a minute, dude. Dude was just gone. I'm like, what is happening?
and
Why?
and so he's like, "Say his name." But
So for real.
Hector? Cookie?
Hector? Is that
Co
who we talking about? Yeah, totally.
co
That you're a terrible person. No, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
and then just real quick off of that last yeah, the last episode or previous episode,
Right.
just emulsification of what you said in your last review is, for me, I wanted to know more about White Tiger than the Puerto Rican. I wanted to know, "Hey, this is White Tiger. By the way, he's Puerto Rican." I didn't
Got
want
it.
it to be like, "This is a Puerto Rican. Oh, by the way, and he's White Tiger."
Understood.
You
I
know?
hear what you're saying. Okay.
I don't
Okay.
and it's like, come on, man. But the whole ending credits and everything like that, that was done well.
Yeah.
The monologue was meh. I'm not gonna say it was terrible, but it was meh because I freaking hear it all the damn time.
No, I hear you.
You know? The cookie. Yes, the cookie. I know about the
Like,
cookie.
trust me, you know about the stupid cookie, okay? We get it.
It's like you people might not know, but whatever. Anyway,
So
so
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
no, 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 I'm done.
Just so for me, it was mainly the idea that when I think you pointed this out actually, that they spend so much time, but they don't on the not well, no, they spend so much time on the wrong things.
Yeah, they
And
did.
I felt like there was a world in which you don't, it's they should have done a better job of putting together some of this stuff. So Victor Di Giovanni on last week's comments, he said, he goes, "As cool as White Tiger was, I feel the show did him dirty by not giving him a full sequence where we see the majority or the majesty rather of White Tiger play out, not just blurry frames on a security camera. This episode should have been like episode 7 or 8 where we get to see White Tiger doing all this stuff. For that matter, the show should be giving us a lot more vigilantes, some good, some bad, doing stuff that's all over the city because at this point, mass vigilantes objectively are known for having saved literally half of humanity. You can't just blanket condemn them all like you could in the old days of superhero stories. You need to show legit reasons why people might be doubting that the people wearing underwear on the outside might not be good guys all the time. And I think he's right. I think they go too quick. Like you said, they were like, here's White Tiger and goodbye. And it's like, and he doesn't even go out like running through the over the rooftop.
About how he died was he was walking in the street going, "Oh, the news is over there."
You're in the
And I'm like,
oh my god.
really? Couldn't he be like jumping on rooftops and things
Something
like that?
more heroic, bro.
Dude, more something heroic.
Not looking like a dude who bought his costume from the costume from
The dude who
Masquerades.
got hungry and is going to the bodega.
That's
You
awesome.
need to get me an empanada.
And homeboy just walks, steps out, is like Capayo, and you're like, "What is up?" Ugh,
Yeah,
really
it should have
bad.
been more like at least just walking.
Yeah, it was very it was like, "What's happening?" Yeah, it was rough. Overall though, I liked this week, even though it was all like a lot of it was footwork and a lot of things like that, but I liked the character beats. It was set up, but I didn't mind it, which is funny. So, I mean,
It was a
it
setup
is
episode.
right.
I liked where it was going because you know it makes you more interested into the characters. Like I didn't like that kid in the beginning. I was like, who's this goofy little kid from The Sopranos? I was like, oh jeez.
I
You know,
he's in
as he
the
started
he's in the
acting and
club.
showing his talent, as he's acting and showing his talent, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's
No,
like, yeah.
you're doing
Okay,
good.
so now he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Again, I liked him. I can't figure out Fisk's assistant, lady person, the assistant mayor lady, whatever her name is. Seems very I don't she's like
Well,
'cause
she has an
she
agenda.
wants to run everything the way like you're supposed to. I don't know if it's an agenda as much as like, "Imma try to at least do this normal," even though and the other thing you pointed out is how did they elect a former criminal? He flat out has that kind of conversation with somebody.
Yeah,
He flat out is like, I should know, of all people, I should know that forgiveness or something like that or crime should whatever." And I'm like, "Dude, so you did get elected as like a full blown king. You were the kingpin and now you're not."
yeah,
So, yeah,
exactly.
it was
And
crazy.
so, did you hear what she said when the kids were singing? She was like, "Listen, I was here before you. I was here before him, and I intend to still be here way after you're gone."
Yep.
So she's
She's out for her
she's
own.
watching out for her own.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah. No, I agree. I do agree with that.
No, that kids singing, oh, that started
It
getting on
was
me.
so bad, and I'm like,
It
"Oh
just
my god."
if it got on my nerves, the show did its job because and Fisk did his job because
Yeah.
you could see the tension in him also, and I was like, "I feel it, bro. This is just"
Alright, so what are some of your predictions for next week's episode?
oh my gosh, I don't even know.
Well,
Did
my
I
thought
even
is, so I feel like Fisk knows something has to happen, and even though he's told them it's okay to go through the normal channels, I feel like he tells his right hand man's like, "Got it," and he's gonna go do stuff. I feel like he's somehow gonna go figure out some things. Um, does Homeboy ever get away? Does the Andrew ever get away or Adam ever get away? Or you think Adam's done for?
No.
And what about the girlfriend? Do you think it ever comes out that, you think she's gonna ever let Matt know that she's dealing with the mayor, and Matt's gonna be like, "What? He's dangerous. What are you doing? Oh god."
Yeah, they're gonna have to. It's probably gonna be towards the end of the season, but
Yeah.
and it's gonna be like, betrayal. Ugh, my feelings are hurt. But it's gonna be like that towards the end, you know? You know how writers do it at the end, "Oh, you
No,
should
for
have
real.
tell you this client speaks privilege. You should know this, Murdoch, because you're an attorney." So they're gonna have some kind of conflict of interest happen.
So do you think the cops are legitimately going to be a problem still? Because obviously dude's like, "Hey man, more, we know where you were a police officer, where you live and this and that." And he's like, "Why?" And I love it. He looks at him and goes, "Well, I guess you better bring more people than you had."
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome.
Like,
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
um,
Um, I don't know. I really am going into this kind of blind and
sure.
just trying to let it happen to me.
No, I got you. So, uh, uh, Rob from Comics Explained when he was with after the first episode, he said a statement, and I've been chewing on it all this time, and since I got you, I figured I'd talk about it. He said that there are a lot of people out there complaining that, "Well, it's not the Netflix one, it's not the Netflix one," and it's not. But what they were complaining about is, or he says rather, I'm used to maybe he goes, "Maybe the reason I accept it is because 'cause I'm used to reading comic books, and I'm used to a new creative team having the same characters, and suddenly it feeling mildly different." It's like it wasn't shocking for him. So, what is your take on how, because now this I would say this episode and last episode feel the most like the old series.
Yes. And it was slower paced, just like the old series. I mean, it took to the end of the season of
Yeah.
season 1 before he even got the helmet on.
And they don't seem in any rush to get like, they
Not in a rush to get him
want
back
that
to.
yeah, they want
Yeah,
that tug of war, and I'm
yeah,
okay with that. I'm okay with
and
that.
I'm fine with that. There's some times in the comic book series also where it was a filler comic. Not a
Sure.
filler, but it was set up. It was set up. I
Right.
guess that's
No,
why
and
it
that's what
doesn't
this
bother me.
is.
Well, I mean, Comic Explained really just explained that very well because I agree with that. I
Yeah,
agree
and
with it.
I think that
And
and
it's
I think
just I
it's a
guess
lot
that's
what it is.
how we took things in growing up reading comic books.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree. Because at the same time, it's funny, I wasn't a big, Daredevil reader until Frank Miller's run, which ended up, you know uh, uh sidebar, did you notice that, Brian Michael Bendis is listed as an executive as a, consultant? Like an actual consultant? Yeah, that was interesting. I was like, "Okay." So they got some comic book bona fides in there, but anyway. Yeah, so because I was see, right after because I had read The Dark Knight Returns, and I was like, "Is there any more stuff like this?" And they were like, "Yeah, this Frank Miller they just put out a trade paperback of his Daredevil run." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And so I know that he does submit, so I that's what I'm used to, and then later on, years later, there's some other runs where he's less of Daredevil and more lawyer, and I feel like that's where we're living right now, and I'm like, "Look, this is fine, and I'm down." But I'm ready to start seeing us do some. Yeah, yeah. I did think it was weird that, like, Fisk a couple episodes ago was like, "A guy dressed as a spider, this and that." No, he's Spider-Man. We shouldn't be
You
in this
should be able
early
to say
MCU mode.
yes. You should be able to say Spider-Man.
Yeah, we shouldn't be in this weird early MCU mode where
And
nobody
they
knows
say
anybody.
he's Spider-Man though because of Sony.
They can say, "Yeah, he's part of the MCU right now." I mean, he's in the MCU, they can do that. They probably can't show him because Sony would have to be involved.
You know
Then we
what
could
though?
know.
I'll tell you this. I think he doesn't know who Spider-Man is.
No, of course, right.
If he knew who Spider-Man was and encountered Spider-Man like in the comics, then he would
Right.
call him out by name.
Yeah, I could
He
see
would
that.
he would totally call him up, or now he's like some spider guy or whatever. And it's like, who's until he encounters Spider-Man.
For real, it's like it's yeah, it's the real thing. No, that's awesome. Overall though, so what are some of your overall thought what do you hope happens coming up?
I'm good with the 2 episodes being set up. I'm ready for some action now.
I feel you. Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm ready for some intense. tension building. If it's not going to be like, there's got to be like a good fight scene or something big.
Sure.
At
Yeah,
least next
that'd be
episode,
something.
something's got to go down.
I'm
I
hoping
hope
to get
I
Frank.
had a I had a inkling of a thought that is like, because we just been so betrayed by the main characters in the first episode. You see where I'm going? Where I had a
Yeah.
thought where it's like, is this the only time we're gonna see the Punisher?
Dude, same. I was like, "Did they tease us?" And literally the scene we saw in
Yeah,
the
they better
trailer
show him
is
some
what
more.
we get. Yeah, like, have him actually punishing people, especially because when the police are using his symbol. I mean, that's
Yeah.
gotta tell you
Oh my
something.
gosh.
Yeah,
He seemed unbothered by it. Like, oh, fucking
it
fanboys.
also
But
seems like he's apparently still operating and functioning in New York.
yes, yeah, it looks like
That's
he's
what it
still
looks like.
operating.
So
But
I didn't expect that.
he looks
But
a
he was very
little too distraught though, and I don't think in the comic books he wasn't like that. He was more collective
sure.
mentally,
Yeah, I hear you.
and he looks like a loose cannon here.
He does. He does have a very, Mel
He
Gibson and Lethal
he's
Weapon
like a loose
quality.
cannon instead of a nice large trebuchet designed to just launch and it looks like
It's
it's
great.
like a
It's
gatling
beautiful.
gun.
Right. No, totally. Oh my god. That's hilarious. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, I think he's ready to be let loose. I can't wait to see what they do with him. I'm not sure if we're ever gonna get somebody commented and said, "Yeah, no, I guess the Power Man and, what's his name? Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, they're looking at potentially next season or even going into possibly the Defenders, as a thing." And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. So what are we gonna get this season?" Like, it was just Frank? And if that's the case, if we don't get more of something, they better
We
give
need
us more
more
Daredevil in.
Frank and Matt.
I hear you. No, I totally hear you.
Oh, the character at the end, I can't remember who that character at the end was. With the guy taking the blood out of the you saw it at the
Oh,
end of
yeah,
the
I wanna say Bedlam, but I'm probably wrong. That's the guy who's
we saw him before.
in the comics, he's a never in the Netflix series, he's the first one.
Never?
No, he's
I didn't
the
maybe
actor
it's my
who
comments
do you
blending
remember
in.
do you remember the kid in the bookstore who asks for the girl's signature on his book and when she's signing books? It was like an episode 1 or 2.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that is this guy because they announced his casting and nothing can be a secret anymore. And, so I know that he's like his head's somewhere. In the comic books, that character is a Inhuman.
Right.
Is which I'm interested to see if they're gonna even remotely
Maybe.
touch on anything like that, which would be because I know there's not a lot of supernatural though I thought it was interesting that the guy that Matt's working with was like, could have been a Skrull? Like, he mentioned Skrull.
Yeah, we make the
Okay.
scroll, but this can't say Spider-Man. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. For real. No, it's legit. Alright, so, any other thoughts about the episode tonight?
Okay, so
What's your favorite?
I dug the scene from the Punisher. Couldn't stand the counseling scene because that was like they were playing dodgeball with accountability. And the singing sticks out to me, bro.
Bro, she was real
The
like,
singing with the kids and the
yeah. I was like, "Is that what we're doing?" Okay. Alright.
so I mean I'm trying to think real quick. Um no, that was it. I mean all of it was all good.
Mhm.
Um and there's nothing else that comes to mind.
Okay. Alright, well, there you go. Now you know, and if knowing's half the battle, you're halfway where you know it all yourself. I really did enjoy it. I dig it. If you wanna know my rating, stick around just after this, at about another half hour. We're going at 2 o'clock. We will be premiering my review as well as, right after this. So this will be a whole day of daredeviling, because Lord knows we're not getting it from the show right now. You want my rating and whatnot, you can get it you
Uh,
can get it then.
so you better show up, Red.
That's right. I love the fact that he's talking like Frank. Like, the writers did a good job making him sound like the character we know, and that made me happy, so all right, guys. Again, comment below. Let us know what you thought about the show. Are you excited for the next couple episodes? Give us your predictions down below. And yeah, man, we will see you next week. All right, guys. Never forget, everyone loves a know-it-all. Bye.